tea and fight for menstrual equity. Jeez. I kick cramps ass. Kick cramps ass. Kick cramps. 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 You're now tuned in to the Kick Cramps Ass podcast with your host, Brittany Walker, advocating for menstrual equity, period poverty, and womb wellness. New episodes on Menstruation Mondays.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 6th episode of Season 2 of Kick Cramps Ass, the podcast. It is Less Alcohol Won't Hurt Anybody. Happy Menstruation Monday. It is Monday, April 15, 2024, and we are advocating this month in April for Minority Health Month and Alcohol Awareness Month. So we're definitely going to dive into today's episode and give you guys some tips and some research and some recommendations in regards to alcohol and womb wellness. Now, we like to kick off each episode with the I am power statement. I representing inspiration, A representing affirmation, and M representing manifestation. And the I am power statement for today is, I am willing to consider the facts that alcohol impacts the womb and will make applicable lifestyle changes to protect it. Ashe. So there it is. Now, the quote of the day is, the groundwork for happiness is good health, by Lee Hunt. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get in today's episode. So for Alcohol Awareness Month, alcohol impacts menstruators of colors and all menstruators, of course, but honing in on Minority Health Month, we notice that there is an influx in endometriosis, fibroids, infertility, amenorrhea, menorrhagia, and dysmenorrhea when it comes to menstruators of color. So we definitely want to just give you guys some recommendation and bring light to you about what alcohol is doing to your womb and doing to your body, and things that you maybe have not considered beforehand being a social thing that people tend to do and society has normalized. Now, according to the National Institute of Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, engaging in regular alcohol use can cause you to skip or have irregular periods. Now, skipped periods would be amenorrhea, the absence of your menstrual cycle, or irregular periods, again, having high inflammation or period cramps, which is considered dysmenorrhea. If you're having heavy blood flow, that's menorrhagia. If you're starting to experience that you're having cyst growth, want to definitely get that checked out to ensure that it's not forming into a fibroid. So these are things that we want you to consider. Now, the process occurs because alcohol can temporarily increase testosterone and estrogen levels. Now, that's wreaking havoc on the typical hormonal fluctuations during ovulation. So when the body starts to ovulate, alcohol can affect ovulation, and we want to be mindful of that. We have a lot of cases where people are getting IVF treatments, and there's research out there now that's showcasing that a lot of individuals who are wanting to get pregnant but now have to incorporate IVF treatments into their fertility process might have a history of alcohol affecting their womb and their reproductive health. All right, guys. Now, I am going to put this research that we're going to tap into for a second into the description of this episode, so you can look it up yourself and get further knowledge on how alcohol can affect the body. So the title of this research is Menstrual Cycle Phase, Hormonal Contraception, and Alcohol Consumption in Premenopausal Females, a Systematic View. Now, the results ended up being that females with PMS tend to consume more alcohol overall compared to those who do not experience PMS. So this was reported because that those who have PMS, whether it's mild or severe, were more likely to be heavy drinkers. This could be due to the mood swings. Maybe you're getting more frustrated or flustered. You're feeling more anxious or stressed during your cycle. So you may tend to drink to help you calm down. Now, there have been reports where individuals stated that alcohol helps calm them down. It helps them sleep better, especially while on their cycle. But we have to be mindful that hydration comes into play. When you put alcohol in your body, it causes your body to dehydrate. And while you're on your cycle, we recommend that you keep the body hydrated, because that will help reduce the inflammation, it will help regulate the blood flow, and it will also help regulate your hormones, which can ease the mood swings or decrease the stress or anxiety that you may be experiencing. Now, according to a website called Flow, while you may crave a glass of wine or other alcoholic beverages, drinking during your period can adversely impact your hormonal level. We were just talking about keeping those hormones regulated. Now, alcohol could increase the production of both estrogen and testosterone in the body. Something to consider, guys. You don't want too much estrogen in the body. That can lead to nausea. It can lead to additional inflammation, bloating, and also causing your hormones to be irregular. All right. Now, too much of either, whether it is the estrogen or the testosterone, too much of it could exacerbate the PMS symptoms, especially mood swings and irritability. So that means that it will cause it to go from 0 to 100 easily without warning, and that's something we want to be more receptive to. All right, guys. Excuse me, for those of you who are listening, need to take a sip. It also impacts the balance of prostaglandins in the body, which can worsen cramps. We don't want to increase the pain. We do not want to increase the inflammation. The goal that we want to do here at Kick Cramps Ass is get you to decrease those cramps. All right, guys. So regular drinking can cause hormonal fluctuations that can lead to both irregular ovulation and periods, which is what we discussed in the previous study. So again, we have multiple studies, we have multiple resources, organizations that are bringing light and demonstrating things that could potentially cause an irregular menstrual cycle. All right, guys. Now, chronic alcohol can cause reproductive issues, including difficulty conceiving and complete cessation of the menstrual cycle. We just talked about that earlier, infertility, amenorrhea. Now, the effects of alcohol on hormonal balance can make ovulation irregular and make it stop entirely. Again, another resource coming from different parts of the world globally that are experiencing these same issues. Now, you have to remember that alcohol is a diuretic, so that means it increases urination, which can cause dehydration in the body. All right, guys. Now, the dehydrating effects of alcohol may also make the blood and mucus thicker and thus harder to pass, and that is where amenorrhea may come into play. Now, the effects of alcohol on your hormones may cause irregular or absent ovulation. So again, repeated information of you don't want your ovulation phase within the menstruation process to be dismissed, guys. We want to ensure that each phase, all 4 phases, are doing what they need to ensure that you have a regular menstruation. All right. So you got to remember, now, according to New Directions for Women, which is another organization that advocates for substance abuse, alcohol abuse, and just bringing light to what these factors can really do to the body. Research suggests that when females experience PMS, they may discover themselves drinking more alcohol during their period, especially the woman that is attempting to cope with their mood swings, irritability, and more by drinking. So that's 3 resources we mentioned in today's episode about the desire to want to drink more on your cycle because of suppressing what you have going on, when there are other more healthier habits and factors that we can rely on that won't affect your cycle more. It will actually help your cycle. All right, guys. Now, when a woman drinks alcohol during their period, the following common menstrual symptoms can be worsened: trouble sleeping, moodiness, bloating, and period cramps. So we talked about period cramps and bloating, and we have talked about moodiness as far as your mood swings, being frustrated, anxiety, stress levels. But let's talk about trouble sleeping. You don't want to have insomnia while you're on your cycle. You want to make sure that your body's getting ample amount of rest so it can restore and recuperate as it goes through the days in the cycle. All right, guys. Not giving your body sleep or adequate rest can make you more irritable. It can make you more moody. All right, guys. It will make you also have to be up during the process of maybe while you're shedding, and it might be a more uncomfortable period that you're experiencing that you would prefer to be asleep anyway. All right, guys. Now, alcohol can also increase cramps, and that is because of the prostaglandin levels that we mentioned earlier. So here's another resource that confirming and corroborating that alcohol has effects of your PMS symptoms. Now, since alcohol is also a blood thinner, it increases the estrogen levels, therefore leading to a heavier period. So based off of what type of menstruator you are, it can cause you to have amenorrhea, the absence of a cycle, or it can cause you to have a heavier blood flow, which will cause menorrhagia. All right. Now let's examine the effect of alcohol on several key female hormones. Let's talk about estrogen. Now, the excessive alcohol intake can lead to an increase in estrogen levels, which may contribute to hormonal imbalances and reproductive issues. Now, on the other hand, heavy alcohol use may also suppress estrogen production in the long term. Now, with progesterone, chronic alcohol consumption may lead to decreased progesterone levels, which can disrupt the menstrual cycle and fertility. We don't want any disruption. We're trying to regulate it. We're trying to make it less painful. Now, we know during the shedding process that is going to be an uncomfortable period, but once you get to the point where you can decrease the inflammation, get your blood regulated, get your hormones under control, that shedding process is no longer painful. It's just uncomfortable. But if you're adding things into your body, these chemicals, these toxins, what we've been discussing throughout the duration of this podcast in both season 1 and season 2, then that is where the actual pain from your cycle comes from. All right, guys. Now, cortisol. Alcohol consumption can temporarily increase cortisol levels, especially during periods of acute intoxication. Cortisol is a stress hormone, and its fluctuations due to alcohol can contribute to the mood swings, the anxiety, and other stress-related symptoms. All right, guys? Thyroid hormones are affected by alcohol. Excessive alcohol intake can interfere with thyroid hormone production and regulation. This can lead to thyroid dysfunction, which may manifest as symptoms such as being fatigued, weight changes, and menstrual irregular, having an irregular menstrual cycle. All right, guys. So something to consider with your thyroid health. Some people might not even factor in thyroid health until you might have an issue with it and go to the doctor. We want to make sure that we are maintaining adequate hormonal balances within the body. All right. So prolactin, while acute alcohol intake may temporarily suppress prolactin release, chronic alcohol abuse can lead to elevated prolactin levels, which may contribute to reproductive and menstrual issues. All right, guys. And lastly, the last hormone we want to pay attention to in regards to alcohol is insulin. Alcohol can insulin sensitivity and glucose metabolism. Now, chronic alcohol consumption may lead to insulin resistance, which can increase the risk of developing conditions such as type 2 diabetes and metabolic syndrome, which are very commonly associated with diet and episodes that in the past. So, what's the end goal of the Alcohol Awareness Month is to take a chance and challenge yourself with decrease the alcohol consumption. Now, it is recommended in the United States that a healthy consumption for women is 1 glass of wine at a 5-ounce measurement a day, or 1 cocktail measuring 2 ounces of spirits mixed with a mixer. However, for males, it is 2 cups of wine of that 5-ounce level, or 2 beers at the 12-ounce level, or having 2 cocktails, 2 ounces of alcohol per cocktail. Now, I actually think that that's excessive, because over time, once you add that chemical into your body on a daily basis, your body then becomes immune to wanting to have that alcohol, which can then develop a habit. Putting that amount of sugar and toxins and chemicals into your body on a daily basis is very critical to your health. It is going to negatively impact your health and could cause other adverse effects. We're talking about menstrual cycles, but we did just mention like type 2 diabetes. Heart disease is another option. Alzheimer's. These are things we want to consider that are affecting especially Americans in the United States. So reducing the alcohol consumption can truly help your menstrual cycle. It has drastically helped me with completely getting rid of the period cramps. Like I said, I still of course experience the shedding. I can feel that sensation. It is uncomfortable, but it's not painful for me anymore. But actually going through the process of having like painful period cramps and inflammation, 2 and 3 days out of my menstrual cycle, sometimes even 5 days. And when I was having 7 and 14-day cycles, those period cramps lasted longer. I no longer experience that, and that is because I have omitted alcohol from the body. So we just want to tell you to challenge yourself. And the end question is, what value does alcohol really add to your life? Just sit there and think about it. What value does alcohol add to your life? If you're using it to suppress what you may have going on, we might want to choose better mental health habits, tools, resources that can be more beneficial that won't affect our health further. If it's something that you're doing socially because everybody else is doing it, you don't have to hop on the bandwagon and do what everybody else is doing. You need to focus on what's going to help you and your health, because when you may be affected further down the line, everybody else is not going to be there to suffer with you. So when you're on your cycle and it's the moment that you don't want to be around anybody and you're feeling the pain and you're curled up in a ball, nobody else can come help save you in that moment. So and if it's something that is just culturally, it's just what everybody does, again, or it's part of every event that you go to, every celebration that you go to, there are other ways that you can celebrate as well that still won't negatively impact your health. So we just want to challenge yourself. Just try omitting alcohol maybe for 30 days and see how that affects your next cycle. We've discussed before, what you do to the body up to 60 days before your menstrual cycle can have an effect, leading up to the next couple of menstrual cycles. So we want to be mindful of maybe doing a 30-day challenge, maybe a 60-day challenge, 1 month, 2 month. And if you start noticing the positive impact that it's having on your body, why not remove it? So we want to give you guys some mocktail recipes all month long. On Mondays, we're posting, in this month of April for Alcohol Awareness Month, we're posting mocktail recipes on our social media accounts, our YouTube and our Instagram. We're sending it out in our blogs, our newsletters as well. So we want to give you, the first recipe that we sent out was a virgin sangria. All right, guys. So we're going to take 1 bottle of Martinelli's apple cider vinegar, the whole bottle. We're going to grab that. We're going to also get us a cup of pomegranate juice. If you can't freshly squeeze that through a juicer or through a blender and then put it through a like chinois or like through a cheesecloth to try to squeeze out the juice and the remnants, if not, then you can find a bottle of fresh pomegranate juice, organic or pomegranate juice that's not made from concentrate. You can get that at like a Whole Foods, a Sprouts, a farmer's market. Farmer's market's always going to be my first choice, but it might be hard for some individuals to get to a farmer's market. So maybe going to an actual local grocery store. You can research online and see who may have these options as well. But also a cup of cherry juice, a cup of orange juice, 1 lemon squeeze, and then we're going to do 1/2 cup of blackberries, 1/2 cup of strawberries, and 1/4 a cup of blueberries. So what we're going to do is grab the strawberries, the blackberries, and the blueberries and throw them in a pitcher. We're going to add the juices. We're then going to get the lemon and squeeze the lemon until there's no juice left in there. Then we're going to pour in the apple cider, and then we're going to mix thoroughly. Place it in the refrigerator or pour it over ice and enjoy. So good, so refreshing. The apple cider gives that, because it's sparkling apple cider, so it gives the effect of that fits, like, I guess you can call it fitzy. I guess that's the proper word, but it's a nice, crisp, refreshing taste. All right, guys. And then if you don't want to use the sparkling apple cider, you have a choice to just do your choice of sparkling water. If you want to add a flavored sparkling water, that is going to alter the natural flavor, but play around with it. It's your virgin sangria. Do what you want with it. If you want to add a little more, a little less of something, do what you want. Play around with it and come up with your own version of your virgin sangria. All right, guys. I do like the apple cider though, because I like the apple juice effect into the sangria. It just gives it a really, really good flavor. So all right, guys. So that is all the information that we have for this episode. So just to give you a heads up, we are going to put that recipe into the description of this episode, because it is listed in the resource center that we have on our website at kickcrampsass.org, along with all these other amazing complimentary resources for you. And we will be adding the research that we discussed today as well under the research section, so you'll be able to download that. All right, guys. So we are still answering listener mail, so feel free to comment to this episode. If you would like to contact us personally and don't want to put your business all out in the public, feel free to email us at kickcrampsass.org, and we'll put that information in the description of this episode as well. Be sure to like this podcast, share it with somebody that you feel like can resonate with it, and then be sure to subscribe to our website so you can keep up with the latest news, resources, and events that we have going on. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we have additional content and other resources and tips for you. All right, guys. But if there's not anything else, we want to manifest a positive, productive, and peaceful remainder of the day for you. Happy Menstruation Monday again, and Mocktail Monday, and the remainder of the week and menstrual cycle journey. And if there's not anything else, we'll be speaking to you next Monday. Peace.